All right, first off, we need to hear the Clay Matthews story. You teased it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Clay Matthews
Massive
story.
Packers
Yeah.
fan.
So
Yeah, pissed me off this morning. Tell me something about Clay Matthews.
No, it was cool. It was actually it's my rookie year. We had just lost a heartbreaker in our second game at home, Thursday Night Football against the Broncos. And then we went from a Thursday to a Monday night game, which is like a little mini bye week. You already have that Thursday break, and then you add an extra day on that Monday, which was smooth. So we go into Green Bay on a Monday Night Football, and we get absolutely smoked, dude, like 40-something to 10.
They're playing that song the whole time. I just want to bang on your drum all day.
I'm sure they were. I was out there just in a blender. It was like BJ Raji's last year.
Oh,
And so, you
guys had the Raji rule on screens? Just stay on him?
stay on them. I'm sure we did. I've taken a few shots to the head since then, so a lot of football I've forgotten.
Yep.
But I will say, because Clay was doing all those Head and Shoulders commercials.
Mhm.
It's all over it.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
used to throw it
remarkably
Seriously.
a stunning
Handsome.
looking man. Yeah. And I go up on a second level, and we collide. And dude, I don't know what it was. His hair was always wet too. Even
Yeah.
in the first play of the game.
The water lady would like wet him down like a dog.
I mean, it must have been after a TV timeout. His hair was soaked. Hit me right in the face. It's one of those things where it just kind of whiplashes you. It's in your eyes, in your nose. I'm like, oh God. But then I get this beautiful smell. I'm like,
He wears it.
you actually use Head and Shoulders? I said, yeah, absolutely. And so it's just a fun little thing we had chatted about, like in mid-play as a rookie, playing against Clay Matthews, who'd already established himself in the league.
That's great.
Remarkably good smelling hair.
I got hit by Troy Polamalu in a similar fashion my rookie year. His Head and Shoulders teammate,
Yeah.
I believe, right?
Yes, they were.
It was goal line at Heinz Field. He started to mug up, and I was a guard. A gap was mine. It was like P61 dive, and I was like, whoever shows up in this gap,
Have fun.
I'm going to hit him. And Troy pretended to come. He stopped at the line of scrimmage on a hard count, and his hair swung forward, and it hit me. And it was the most beautiful thing. It was like an angel, like a football angel came and touched me.
Yeah, that's one guy I wish I'd seen in action, dude. He's
Wild.
an amazing football player.
So what's retirement been like? Month in, you're obviously here with us, so
Yeah.
a little restless. Are you going to pick up tennis like this guy? Are you going to pick up
tennis
golf?
guy.
What
Fun. Tennis is fun.
Tennis is fun.
I suck so bad at golf. It's fun, but it's too long to be away from the wife and kids.
Yeah.
Tennis is like an hour. You get a great sweat. It feels like an OTA, like a great sweat.
Yeah,
see your boy, leave.
Yeah, well, so I would say the first month's been awesome. I had my first football nightmare of having to go back and play. So that's when I knew I woke up and I was like,
Made it.
absolutely right play. I don't know, dude. Like my elbows are cooked. So for golf, it's a nightmare. I had my first lesson in a while the other day, and I threw an absolute temper tantrum like a child. Scared like in front of another grown man who's just trying to help me, and I'm cussing him out. And I sit there and I call my wife, and I was like, I might need. We need to chat. I might need a little bit of intervention, a little bit of help here. Anyways, for the most part, it's just pouring into my kiddos. You know what I mean? And that's been the best part of it by far. I know that they are getting tired of me because like the first few days after retirement, I'm like, all right, time to help out my wife. I'm sitting there and I find myself just hovering. And she's like, dude, first of all, you're freaking me out.
Yeah.
Secondly,
You need to get out of here.
I've had my life. I've had this routine. I thank you for helping. I will tell you if I need it. Now go out and do stuff. So I've just been sitting around figuring stuff out.
Dude, nothing will test your mental like a golf lesson where you cannot do what they're trying to tell you to do.
It's bullshit.
Where you're
dude.
just like, how am I not doing what you're telling me to do? It seems so easy, but
I stopped paying money to get mad.
yeah.
So I just go for free to the range and get mad at myself.
I know. It was it really was one of the true like moments that makes your for lack of a better term, your balls itch. Like it was just a terrible time.
So I hate to go from balls itching to this, but you talked about the kids, 5 and 3. I had kids after I was done playing. My wife and I had kids. So I've got 2 daughters, similar age.
Right on, dude.
And I don't know how guys were able to have kids while they were in the league. And I would imagine for a guy who is now out of the league and spending more time with your 5-year-old, it's like Was there ever a time when you were playing where your body could still go, but you were like, I just want to go home?
I mean, every day for a bit, right?
Yeah.
It's also inner dialogue you have throughout your careers. Some days the highs are so high, some days the lows are so devastating, and those are exacerbated when you have a family in the mix, right? I would say that more than anything, it actually helped kind of put things in compartments, right? Like, this is when I touch this, like I had a weird ritual where when I touched the handle of the door of my house to leave, all right, now I'm in work mode in the car. And when I got home, I hit that handle smooth. And was it easy to do every day? Absolutely not. Like any sport or any work, it's hard not to bring bad days home. It's easy to bring good days home.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of ride that roller coaster or not ride it per se. I would say, of course, the thing that's easy to say is, yeah, sleepless nights suck, especially when you're having kids and, they have the stomach bug and you're going into a Saturday when you're supposed to be, this is the day I'm supposed to get the most sleep. And
they bring you Chick-fil-A and your kids are homesick and you're like, I'm here messing around with the boys.
Totally.
Which is great, by the way. There's some days where I'm like, I wish I was still on a roster.
Sure. So the guys in Jacksonville reported OTAs the other day. I missed that first day showing up, seeing the guys.
The team meeting?
I don't miss warming up an hour later to go work out with the guys.
No.
So that's a long-winded way of saying it helps in many instances.
Well, you're in the right place. Your wife has the right idea where she's like, get off of me and go do whatever, fills your time in a healthy way, but also getting into stuff like this.
She said, get off.
You have a great personality. You're a center. You have so much to offer for, you can answer any question on the screen here. Any desk will be better for having you. I'm just happy that you're in here because I was in your shoes a couple of years ago and I was going to run through a wall and I didn't know what to do. And there's some days where I still feel like, testing the structural integrity of my home, but I get to come in and mess with Mike, and there's bad days, there's good days, but we get to do it.
Mike's all right.
He's a good dude.
I want to ask you a question about playing center from like a scouting perspective. How much is intangible at center versus how much is tangible? So like other positions, pass rusher, I'm not sure much is intangible. If a guy's a freak of nature athletically, he's going to be able to get it done. But at center, it's talked about as a more cerebral position. A lot of the greats have been smarter guys historically. What would be your take on that?
Well, I feel like I might be the anomaly in that smart category.
Stop.
Yeah, no, it's really, you talk to some of these centers and they have the ability to break the huddle, go through like I think you can attest to this. Like when you break the huddle, no matter what position you are on the offensive line, you go through an inner dialogue, you go through an inner checklist, or here's a play. What's my role on it? Maybe if the defense is showing this, what does that dictate in regards to my calls? All this stuff.
Assignment, alignment, adjustment.
Exactly. But I will tell you, it's hard for me to be like, all right, of course, unless you are game planning specifically to go see if the safety or whatever. But some of these guys can really, they know, much like Schwartz, every intricacy of the play, how that's going to make the defense change, what defense is showing here. Of course, time on task, like anything, helps. You finding your own rhythm. I will tell you, I showed up to Kansas City as a tackle playing center in a system that Missouri had just started putting a tight end on the ball. I'm seeing 6 guys in the box, and now it's my first inside zone or 9-on-7 in training camp. I'm snapping to Alex Smith, who's year 12 or 13. He's so patient. And I'm seeing guys I don't even know how to ID. I don't even know who that guy is. Yeah. But I know that it's first goal line, short yardage day. I will say the intangible part is being able to take coaching, understand, and then I think understanding that your role does dictate a lot of what else is going on. But also, and throughout my career, whether it's guards or tackles in strange instances like Schwartz, you have your person you lean on because that's something that fills their cup.
Your battle buddy.
Your battle buddy or guy who knows that, all right, maybe I have a better instinct on seeing this, or maybe when I break the huddle, I'm going to take something off your plate. I'm going to say if it's base, or I'm going to say if it's nickel, or see if this safety's out there, because even just one space removed, you can see a little bit more outside. And that's why some offenses have their tackles really talking about what's going on outside, because just even two people removed makes such a difference. So I would say the intangible part is taking in information as it comes, relaying it, not putting it too hard on yourself. And then I think a lot of centers, what they do is they rely on the people around them.
More often than not, the center, and this is from my experience, when I came into the league, I had a 13-year veteran by the name of Roberto Garza, who was an OG gangster, played with all the, Reuben Brown, Olin Kreutz, all these dudes. The centers, more often than not, are the leaders of men in the room. And examples to the other positions of what a day-to-day workload looks like. The centers are meeting extra with quarterbacks. The centers are with the coordinators. We go home. Like, I'll go get a peanut butter sandwich, a shake, and I'm hitting the road. They're there for another hour meeting with quarterbacks. And the same thing in the morning. And I think about Creed Humphrey in Kansas City. Yeah. They're magnetic. Your personality is this way. We met today for the first time, and I feel like I've known you for a while. You're a center, dude. Like, I know you played tackle in college, but there are traits, to your question, that you have to hit in order to be the guy in one of those rooms. And Mitch has a lot of those traits, and I'm interested to see this year who has them coming out of the draft.